always looking to grow in what we're doing and give our students the best opportunity for success. Now I'm going to move on. Ms. Alad's going to take over here. So this is going to be like detail heavy. There's going to be a lot of information coming at you. I promise we will post these things after, and we will also be open for questioning. You can always reach out after and ask any specific questions, but there will be information coming. There are 4 programs that we're going to go over tonight. There's AP, which is Advanced Placement. There are IB, International Baccalaureate. There's Cambridge, and there's Running Start. These are 4 programs that you are going to decide between throughout your time in high school. Some of these programs start in 9th grade. Some of them will start in 11th grade. And it's your choice as the parent/student to determine which one will best fit your needs. So we're going to go over each of the programs. We'll talk a little bit about what each one is, what it's good for, what it's not as good for, so that you can make an informed decision for your kids. No.
Okay, so AP, like Brother Ahmed said, it's advanced placement. Most students might choose AP because it gives them that high school experience, so they get to stay in high school and they get to take high school level courses that also could count as college credit while taking the AP exam in the spring. So exams roughly cost around $109, and most of my information here is going to be Bellevue School District facts because I believe most of you are from that area, and I am familiar with Bellevue School District. So most students will sign up for the exam in the fall. They'll take it in the spring. You must score 3, 4, or 5 to get the college credit. While receiving this credit, you will then not have to take the college course in college. So, for example, if you took AP Calculus, took the AP exam, you will not have to take Calculus in college, okay? These are a few courses that are offered for AP level courses.
So as you can see, AP, one of the benefits of it is, I guess there's 2 major benefits of it. One of them is you're getting college credit while in high school. So which is contrary to Running Start, which we'll talk about later, which is you're going to college, get college credit. You're earning college credit in high school while strengthening your actual resume. When you're applying in your transcripts and they say AP on there, it will strengthen what you're doing. So it is a standard thing. But just taking the courses is not enough, right? Because you have to pass the test.
You have to pass the test for the college credit. Some students might take the course just for rigor, and they won't take the exam because it still looks good on your resume and on your transcript. Yes.
Do you prefer Q&A at the end or?
We do have Q&A set at the end. If you have a specific question about that, we can take it. But anything broader, we'll push back to the end.
Okay, so IB International Baccalaureate is mainly offered at Interlake High School. So this program specifically starts at 10th grade. But 9th grade will set you up for IB. It's a globally recognized program. Most students who sign up for IB are looking for rigor and they're looking for that early college experience because they'll be doing research, community service, and making real world connections. And your international baccalaureate is recognized, which means you can apply for colleges abroad and have the potential of being accepted. So this is just a breakdown of the IB pathway. So again, ninth grade, you're taking pre-IB. You're not yet taking the full IB courses. And then they'll prepare you for 10th and 11th, is which you'll be full on packed for classes. IB is set up for you. So there's classes and courses. They're all set up. You don't get to choose. So you'll know what you need to take based off of the IB diploma program. And then 12th grade, you'll start taking your college level courses. You'll begin your internship. And on top of the IB program, you also have to complete a 4,000 word research paper, your theory of knowledge, and then CAS, which is Creative Activity Service. So on top of your 40 hours of community service for Bellevue School District specifically, you have to also complete community service, extracurriculars, and that's all for the IB diploma. So just the courses alone doesn't get you the IB diploma. You have to complete the extras.
I do want to point out that, actually, I think, no, you're going to touch on the next slide. Just kidding.
Okay, it's the same thing as AP exams. They'll also be in the spring. Okay, this is just a compare and contrast between IB and AP. So again, IB is more structured. There's specific courses that you have to take. You don't get to choose. Versus AP, if you wanted to take AP Spanish because you're interested in it, cool, you can sign up for it. But in the IB program, that's not something you can willingly do. And then IB, again, includes a research paper. Your AP does not. And you're getting a more global perspective for IB because you're looking at other options abroad versus just in-state or in-country.
So we know the big question comes from it. Which one's going to get me to the college that I want to go to? Right? That is why we're picking these programs, because we want to make sure that we're going to where we want to go. Between IB and AP is two really basic concepts, right? It's like the general understanding. IB is international. If you are planning on attending an international school, IB is your best bet to be able to make that happen. They're the one program that is, once you have your IB diploma, it is proof, and all of these colleges around the world will accept it because it's an international diploma that is recognized by all the top universities in the world. So if you want to go into the Ivy League in the international world, IB is the way to go. But there's a catch there. IB is an all or nothing program, which means it is extremely difficult and extremely rigorous as they go through. They will push you, you will work really hard, you will do a lot of writing. And by a lot, I mean like a lot of writing, because it is a writing heavy program. I took IB classes in the 9th and 10th grade before I ended up switching to Running Start. We just wrote constantly. And those are skills that are really strong and really good. But the concept was, when I was in 9th and 10th grade, IB started at 11th grade. So I was taking pre-IB, so I could choose which ones I wanted to take, which ones I didn't want to. But when the full IB started, you had to take them all. And that's a really heavy load. When it comes to AP, you get to choose your classes. So maybe you're really good at English, take an AP English class. But your math skills aren't as great. You don't have to take the AP math class to go with it, because you can focus on your strengths. Now the difference between IB and AP for colleges is AP is really gonna help you in a college in this country. So in the United States of America, AP is widely recognized and is highly sought after for any of our colleges here in the country. So including University of Washington here, or including UCLA, Berkeley, MIT, you name it, AP will help you drastically entering colleges specifically out of state from here from Washington. Because those programs are designed to do that. Those are all recognized throughout America. If you take an AP courses and you want to go international, your odds of getting in will drop significantly because they're not as recognized on the international level. Because they focus, just like Sister Alat said, on two very different things. One's a global centered program with a lot of writing. One of them is not a global centered program with a lot of test taking. And so the two different skills adjust which way that they'd be looking.
Yeah, so I did AAP because I wanted to, again, like he mentioned, be selective about my courses. He brought up my example. I loved English, wasn't heavy on math, but I got to select what I liked, and I still got into a top university. So it's really about what you do, and we'll get more into that because aside from just your courses, who your student is also important. Cambridge. So as you can see, Cambridge is a little bit different than AP and IB. It's also college level, it's international based, it's designed by the University of Cambridge. In rigor, it's similar to AP and IB, but it mostly focuses on critical thinking and deep understanding. Also, again, more writing. So it's rigor, but in like writing, because all the exams are going to be writing. They're not going to be your standardized test. They're going to be writing exams. And the grading is a little bit different with Cambridge because it's a UK grading system. Grading is letter grade. So it's A through E, and you should be getting E or higher for it to count on your graduation pathway. Bellevue School District recognizes Cambridge courses and exams, but does not widely offer a Cambridge program.
Cambridge is much more rare to come across. There are not as many Cambridge schools, but it serves a purpose. So if you are interested in Cambridge and what it focuses on, right, you have to find the school that does that and choice your kid into that school. If you know what the word choice means, is you can apply as like a lottery system, and if the school determines, I have some space, we can fit 20 more kids, then we'll take in order from who applied to that school to let them in because they have the seats available. So you would be like on a first come, first serve basis if they have the space. So when it comes to a program like IB, AP, Cambridge, not every school offers all of those options. So then it's on you to determine, what do I want for my kid? If I want my kid to be an IB student and to go through the IB program, because they might go international, or they might be going for the Ivy League, and that's where they really want to head into, you have to find a school that can do that and choice into that program. And choice applications, I believe, actually are open now. So this is a good time to start thinking about it for what school and what program we actually want.
Okay, so Running Start. And I believe Brother Ahmed mentioned to me that most of our students move on to Bellevue College for Running Start. So with Running Start, depending on the high school that you attend, if you want to take full-time Running Start, most students will take between 10 to 15 credits. And then if you still want that high school experience, you can take part-time Running Start with 1 or 2 college classes. Based on the school district's FTE, which means how many credits a student can take, I highly recommend that students will stay within that 10 to 15 range if they plan to do 2 years. So 5 college credits count as 1 high school credit. So if you're, for example, taking English 101 in the college, you are taking English Comp in the high school. Math 141 is pre-calc. History 146 is U.S. history. And this is typically what a junior level schedule will look like, fall, winter, and spring. Students can also take summer if they would like.
The thing to keep in mind for Running Start. So I am a Running Start graduate. I think you also are a Running Start graduate. I love the program because it changed a lot of things for me that I didn't like about high school that I loved about college. For example, you get to set your own schedule. You want to get up at you want to have your first class start at 9 a.m. instead of 6:30 in the morning, you can do that. You want to have a class that ends at 5 p.m., you can also do that. You want to take a hybrid course, which is some in person, some online, you can do that. Because they are college courses you're signing up for, which opens up your schedule. So for me, actually a funny story, it's my first quarter, and we're going for Running Start, and the classes we want, right, they're hard to get into in your very first quarter because everyone else has more credits before you, has the priority option. So your times that you get to pick from get smaller and smaller options. It was my first quarter. I really wanted to knock English 101 out because that is probably like one of the most daunting courses to take at the very beginning because it's your first real introduction to English courses. And the only time available was 7 a.m. And I taught myself, I've been getting up at 6 o'clock every day to go to school. That school that starts at 6:30. It's no problem. I can do at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. was the worst decision I've made. For some reason, going to Running Start, my clock shifted. I could not get up anymore. And for the rest of my time at Running Start, I didn't start before 9 because I realized that, like, this is not good for me. But I had that ability to be able to make that decision, what was best for myself, and what gave me the opportunities that I wanted. So what really does, Running Start really only works, is the reality, is if you as the individual, so the individual student is gonna be responsible for themselves. There is nobody holding you accountable. There is nobody telling you go to class. If you skip class that day, there's no phone call going to mom or dad saying that you were skipping. Mom and dad can't get an email from the professor about your low grade because they're not allowed to talk to you about it. Because at the end of the day, you are now a college student. So I want to warn everyone before saying Running Start is the best thing ever, because I personally believe it was the best thing for me. But also, you have to be the right type of person to be able to take on that real accountability, because there is a lot. There was a rule in college, which every college student loves. It's if the teacher's not there for after 15 minutes after class starts, class officially canceled. We would sit there with our timers, like, please don't come, please don't come. And like sometimes they'd be late. It'd be minute 16 and the whole class is like, all right, see you later. It was fun in the moment. Looking back, we hurt ourselves by doing that. Had I had waited the extra minute and been with the group that stuck around for that class, I would have gained something from that class, because that time is really valuable and very limited as you're there. One of the beauties of Running Start, actually, I want to go, can you go back one slide for the credits? You are taking 10 to 15 credits a quarter, about 3 quarters. So if you took 10 credits, which is 2 classes, compared to 6 classes at high school, you get to focus on 2 subjects versus 6, you are going to earn the same amount of credits through your time of Running Start that you would have taken those 6 classes in high school. Because they're really intense courses, it is high level, and in that 1 quarter, you're going to earn a full high school credit in those 5 that would take you a full year to earn at the high school level, because they are college level courses. So what that means for your students, those that are taking 15 credits, taking the full load, all 3, they're going to end up with 9 high school credits at the end of the year, when a high school student would have earned 6. Credits now become a thing where we're not worried about getting enough credits anymore in the Running Start program, because you are getting so many of them. But you have to be very careful in that the credits you take are the ones that are going to actually get you to graduate. Because I was, again, this is learning from experience. It was my senior year, my last quarter, right before my last quarter, the end of winter quarter. I see my high school counselor. And he says, hey, you're not going to graduate high school. I'm like, what do you mean? I have like 1,000 credits. Like, how am I not going to graduate? I put off 1 high school requirement until spring quarter. Spring quarter finishes after the school year is over. So I won't get my grade for spring quarter until high school's already done. Because I missed that 1 final requirement that I put off to the end that I could have taken in fall, and I could have taken in winter, either year, but I didn't. Because I did not have great guidance. I had to go and argue with my counselor. I had to fill out paperwork. I had to prove to them I was taking this course. They made me provide them grade updates of my class to make sure I was going to pass, so that I could walk with my friends at graduation. Knowing that now, please, if you are intending on going to Running Start, there are 2 people that will be the most important people in your education for any student taking Running Start. 1 is your high school counselor, 2 is your college counselor, because you will have to use both of their information to do everything you want. Your high school counselor will tell you what your requirements are and what you need to take in order so that you don't fall into that same position that I fell into. Your college counselor will tell you what classes you can take that will meet the high school requirements as well as your college requirements. Because at the end of the day, we want to earn our AA. I want to get my 2 years of college done in the AA that I want. So instead of taking any course to fill the high school requirement, I want to take a specific course that can double up. And that's what you really want to look for. And there's a program called credit audit or degree audit that you put in what degree you want, and it tells you what class you have to take to get there. And then it's playing a game of matching. What is a high school requirement? What is a college requirement? And which ones do both, so I can take those courses, so I can maximize my time there.
Yeah, I would agree. Your best friend, even though if you decided to be a full-time Running Start student, make sure your counselors are your friends or you are connecting with them, because I had to chase down seniors constantly last year to make sure that they were attending their classes, or if they were taking a last-minute class that needed to be a part of their 24 graduation requirement, that they were emailing their college professor and saying, this student is passing this course, and sending that email my way. So then I have proof that I can now count that credit that they need. So,
also, I want to talk about one other thing too. Full-time and part-time Running Start, right? Some people ask us.
I did part-time. I still wanted to take high school classes and be in high school, so I did part-time and I took evening classes actually.
Yeah, so that's the beauty of the Running Start. That's another positive thing to the Running Start program. You can take classes at the high school if you still want the high school connection. You have friends that are there, you have some classes you might want to take there, some electives that you find interesting, and then take your other classes at Running Start. Or you can be a full Running Start student where you spend little to no time at your high school, but you're still a student there. You still have access to the sports, to the clubs, to the activities. You can still go to all the things that your high school friends are going to, but you're just spending most of your time at the college for Running Start. So there are differences, and there are values, there are pros and cons to both, right? Because I didn't have that full high school experience, but I was okay with it because of what I was getting at my Running Start experience, because they were 2 different things, and I was happy with what I received. But I also had friends that were also part-time with me, and that they were my best friends, but they were taking part-time because they wanted to still experience some of that high school experience. And that's a word we'll say a lot, the high school experience. And you know what it is, you know what it feels like to be in high school, what the amount of kids, the teachers, the education, the food, like all of those things together create a high school experience, which is something we're building here at Medina. We are building the high school experience out with this building, with the ability to be able to grow. We are developing that experience here so we can give you the best of both worlds.
My recommendation to you, future Running Start students, is also take in-person classes. I know a lot of these courses are also offered online, but it's so much more better to take it in person. That way you have access to the professor right in front of you if you have questions, or you need, for example, when I was doing my program, it was like in the middle of Ramadan, and thankfully I was an in-person candidate, so I told the professor, I'm fasting. I can't finish out this essay in the time frame that you're giving me, so I need extra time. So these things come up, and when you're more personable about it and you're talking to your professor, they're seeing you in person, they're more likely to grant you grace.
One last thing about Running Start that I want to compare against. We talked about IB and how it's the international program. You want to go to international school? IB is your move. You want to go to the Ivy League? IB is your best chance at getting in. I say chance because the Ivy League is not easy to get into. If you want to go to a top university in America, AP is a great option because AP will help you get there. It will strengthen, not guarantee, but it will strengthen your college applications. it will strengthen your transcripts and give you a good chance to go to any top university. Running Start is a very specific use case. Running Start is if you want to stay in Washington State for college. So if you are intending on going to University of Washington, Running Start's a great option. If you are intending to going to UCLA in California, Running Start will not do you any favors. Your transcript will look slightly stronger because you have college level courses on there. It will still be stronger than just a standard high school experience. But a full AP load would be a stronger application than a full Running Start load for all of the states around us. In Washington State, Running Start would be the superior way to go if you're looking to go into University of Washington or Washington State University or what other schools around here? Bellingham, Western,
Eastern.
All colleges
Central,
here
SU.
are all good with Running Start, and credits almost transfer on a one-to-one basis. And I say almost very specifically because some credits you'll take at some colleges won't transfer to the other college directly. So I'll have my 90 credits that I'm leaving with, and I'll show up with 75 because they just didn't take some of those credits because they didn't have the courses that align. One of the beautiful things, if you're a Bellevue person and you're gonna go to Bellevue College and UW have an agreement, so it is one-to-one credit transfers. So it is very easy, very straightforward. If it goes to Bellevue and you're going to University of Washington, very simple process.
Agreed. One of my seniors last year, heavy AP courses, her junior and senior year, and she applied for a school in Denmark. Versus one of my Running Start students who earned his high school diploma and AA and then went towards MIT. So do you see the difference? Again, like he said, it's Running Start is if you want to stay more like local or within state or another state, but AP is really good if you're looking at other options. But again, you can always go abroad. I did that in college. Not like it's out of the picture even if you don't do it right away. So on top of your courses and your 24 credits that we've been going on about, you must also maintain a 2.0 average, complete 40 hours of community service, but like I told my high schoolers that I worked with, go above and beyond. I was required 50 hours and I completed over 100. So if you want to really show off who you are and be accepted by these universities who are very competitive, really go above and beyond aside from just your rigor courses. You also have to complete a high school and beyond plan, and that is completed junior and senior year, and meet a graduation pathway. So most students will complete this their freshman or sophomore year through SBA, but there are other pathways, whether it's taking English Comp and Pre-Calc or certain IB or AP courses. But your high school counselor will be able to really define this, as well as meeting your Washington State from 7th grade.
So Washington State has specific requirements for graduation. One of them that's always it's a little confusing is Washington State history. It's one of our requirements in this state to graduate high school. But they don't offer this course at the high school. It is a middle school level course that counts towards your high school graduation. So this means you take this class, depending on what public school you're in or what school you're in. In Medina, we do it at 8th grade. If you take this class in 8th grade and you fail it, you won't know it until you're at the end of your high school experience. And your counselor's like, hey, by the way, remember that class you failed in 8th grade? Yeah, you're gonna have to retake it now. And you're gonna have to take another program on top of your high school experience, on top of what you're taking on a full load, to take this extra course. That's a requirement. That's something that we offer here in 8th grade because you can't get it outside of it. So that's one of the good things that we offer in this program is we're trying to make sure that you are going to be set up for success for whatever pathway you pick for high school, whether you stay with Medina Academy, whether you go to Interlake, whether you go to AP or IB or Running Start. We want you to be successful in everything that you're doing. So when we say 40 community service hours as a minimum, it really is a minimum. And we will encourage you to do many, many hours because these are the minimums to graduate. These are not the expected to get into the university of your choosing. For example, you need how many years of language to graduate high school?
You need 2 years of language, but I completed 3 because most 4-year universities require 3 years. It's the same for your high school science and math. 3 science credits are required and 3 math credits are required, but it is preferred to complete 4 for each.
And that's actually a really big deal. Because when you're looking at the numbers, you think, oh, I just need 3 math credits and I'm fine. 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, I'm done with math. At Medina, many of our students are already in an advanced math track. So they've already earned an Algebra 1 credit before they leave. Some may have earned a geometry credit before they get to high school. That was already 2 credits of math. In theory, they could get to 9th grade, take 1 more math credit, and be done with math for the rest of their high school experience. This will hurt them in the long run. They might have met the graduation requirements, but they did not meet the requirements of getting to any top university because they want to see you taking math every single year. So if you are 3 years ahead by the time you get to 9th grade, you will be taking 7 years of math. And that's the reality because that is what they want to see. Math, science, English, history should be courses that you're taking throughout your time in high school, whether or not you hit those credits. Because the more you take of them, the better your transcript looks and the stronger it is for those graduations. So that when you are applying to the University of Washington and you're applying with somebody that met high school requirements or someone that doubled the requirements, whose application is going to be stronger? And I want you to know, University of Washington has been dropping acceptance rates every year. Specifically for in-state students, we are getting hurt more and more every year in acceptance rates.
Yeah, last year we looked at the numbers and I think it was like 100,000 applicants, just freshman applicants, and only 10% were accepted. Versus, I gave him new information, versus a transfer student. I'm not sure how many applicants they got, but versus I was at 10%, but he.
That's exactly what I was going to explain. So, this is a secret tip that no one will tell you, but I am a walking example of this tip. I graduated high school, I got my high school diploma, I got my AA, my GPA was pretty good. I applied to the University of Washington through Running Start as a Running Start student. I got rejected on my first application to the University of Washington, Seattle. I was applying as a freshman, I got rejected, I said, no big deal, I'll apply again in the winter because you can apply each quarter. So in the winter, I apply again, and I apply for backup school because my first time it was just University of Washington, Seattle. I was like, this is where I want to go, I'm set on it. My next time, I'm like, okay, I need to go to college somewhere. So I'm going to apply to University of Washington, Seattle, but I'm also going to apply to Tacoma, which has a much higher acceptance rate, alongside of Bothell. They both have significantly higher acceptance rates. They're smaller campuses, smaller classes, honestly, maybe even better classes because you have less kids in your class, so it's more time with the professor. But I applied to both. I got into Tacoma within like 2 weeks. It was like a really fast application acceptance. I was a Running Start student in AA. Of course they're going to take me. I'm applying to transfer students. And then I got accepted by UW Seattle 3 weeks later. And I got in as a transfer student where I got rejected as a freshman. But nothing changed on my transcript. Nothing changed in my experience. Nothing changed at all. Because now I'm applying as a transfer versus a freshman. A freshman has to take freshman level courses. Classes of 700 people at UW Seattle and Kane 120, the worst experience in college is when you're sitting there with 800 other people all trying to listen to one thing.
Because even if you complete your AA, you're still applying as a freshman. You're not applying as a junior.
And that's
just the rule.
why it works like that, I couldn't tell you. But when they're reviewing your applications, as a Running Start student, you have to apply as a freshman. So you get bundled into all the freshman applications. But once you graduate, you're officially considered a transfer student. And transfer students have much lower applications, one coming in, because most people pick a college and they stick with it, and they stay at that one college. And they're more likely to take you on because now you're taking your higher level courses. So when I was fighting for a spot with 800 kids in Bio 180, instead I can fight for a spot for 30 seats that they've only filled 25 because it's the major that I specifically want. So there's one easy thing. If you don't get in the school you want to go to as a Running Start student, on the first attempt, try again. A transfer will be a much stronger application. You have to wait 3 months to start school.
Yes. The other thing that they will not tell you, but
Here's tip number 2.
I will give it to you because I heard it from a UW counselor themselves. Apply to a major that's not as highly sought out because you're more likely to get into, economics or something that's not as so competitive. And then once you get into the school, you can transfer. That makes sense?
So there are risks to this tip. Is the reality. It's not a perfect system. But the reality is, if I'm applying into a program like computer science at the University of Washington, I'm applying with way too many other people. Way too many people. And doesn't matter how strong my application is, it's luck of the draw at this point. Because there are 10,000 people applying for computer science for 80 seats they have available. It is tough to get into that major of your choosing. However, what some people do, you apply with a different major in mind, something else that you're also interested in, and you get into the school because this major is less sought after. And while you're at the school, while you're in the program, you can transfer into computer science because what's going to happen, which is very likely, are people are dropping out of the computer science system midway through the year. So all of these freshman applications into computer science, they don't survive through winter because they decide, wow, this is not for me. Seats start to open and that you can transfer into because you're already in the school mid-year. It's an easy transfer process as long as you meet the requirements. GPA, prereqs, all those good things that you would already have to do from the beginning. There's a risk to this.
It's true. I dropped nursing. So it happens.
I dropped pharmacy.
Yeah. So
it happens.
You have to. The nice thing about.
We're gonna take questions right at the end.
The nice thing about.
Oh. Go ahead.
The thing that people have done as well is you stay at the college for more years and finish more of the requirements, and then you kind of finish up your degree at UW. So it saves you money and saves you time.
Correct.
You're already in the school. You can do 3 years of whatever bachelor you want, and then you move up to UW, and that people have done that too.
You are absolutely correct. So because college is so, actually, I think one of the things we forgot to say about Running Start, it's free. Your first 2 years of college are paid for by the state. So 2 years of tuition at the University of Washington costs, as an in-state student, it's like what, 25 grand just in tuition, not let alone any other expenses.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because
50,000
books and anything extra aside from tuition is actually on the student. So your tuition is covered by the school district, but anything extra is on you.
So where at UW, your first 2 years, you would spend between $50,000 and $70,000. At Bellevue College, you'll spend between $3,000 and $5,000, covering books, cost of things, just the cost of college itself, laptops, books, paper, whatever you need, because you have to buy everything yourself. The money does add up, but it's significantly smaller than what you're going to pay for at the university. These 3 programs all do the same thing. They get you to college, and they get you the college that you want. The question is, which one do you want to go to, and who are you as the person? So you shouldn't go to Running Start if you know you might skip classes, because no one's gonna hold you accountable. You shouldn't do IB if you're not really ready to lock in, and because those courses get really rigorous. You shouldn't do AP if you're gonna sign up for AP courses and then only take one AP class and then not take the test, because you've defeated the purpose of what you're doing here, right? We want you to know what your options are, to be able to pick the one that's best suited for you, because every last kid is different. Where my friends, the ones that did full IB, I did Running Start, I had friends that did AP, we all ended up where we wanted to go. And that's the important part, is that we all ended up in a place that we were happy to end up. And we took different paths to get there. So there isn't just one path for everyone. I wouldn't say, oh, you're in 10th grade, sign up for Running Start. I wouldn't tell you, oh, you're going into 10th grade, you should go do full IB. Every kid is different. And we're gonna ask you to rely on, one, talking to your kids about it, because that is really important in what they want and what they're interested in. And two, reaching out to resources. You have myself, you have Sister Alat, you have college counselors, you have other high school counselors that you can ask questions to, because it's gonna help determine which way you want to go. Because there's a lot of options and a lot of different ways to go. We wanna make sure you pick the right one for you and your family. Now we get to, you have something else you want to say? Oh, you want to, I can't do it, Mary, you do on that one. Okay, we just threw a lot of information at you. I'm expecting questions. So let's see if we can start just going for them. Yes?
Sorry, this was rocket science for me. I don't have high school kid students, so like, first of all, what's normal school like? A, B, C, X, Y, Z. I don't know what's a normal school, high school life at Medina Academy look like? A, and then if kids are going to Bellevue College and all of that, why are they coming to Medina Academy? Can you help me just understand, wrap my head around?
Of course.
Yeah.
So, a standard high school experience here at Medina, right, is can you go back to the core courses? So a standard high school experience here at Medina is you are taking those courses on the left side. So these are all your credit-bearing courses that you're taking. So you come to school in the morning, you go through your regular school day, which is going to cover all of these topics.
Each day looks different.
Each days look different. So like we'll have some of these classes will be 4 times a week, some will be 5 times a week. And it's getting what you need from each of those courses. So that's like the standard, it's a very general school experience because you're getting all those things. What you're getting at Medina that you won't get anywhere else are the 3 in the middle: Quran, Arabic, and Islamic studies. So that's something that we pride ourselves on. What you're getting at Medina is the opportunity to pray Dhuhr every single day in a jama'ah with all of your friends. To pray Asr when the time is right, because Asr keeps coming in and out for us. To pray Jummah together with your peers, where we'll have a khatib come in that is dedicated for the kids. So it's a kid-focused khutbah. So you get those experiences here that you wouldn't get anywhere else, on top of the regular educational aspect of it. Now, why a student might be interested in taking part-time at Medina and part-time at Running Start is be able to still continue in those Quran, Arabic, Islamic studies courses, but also to still have access to all of our extracurriculars that we're planning on offering. Because you might want to be involved in school leadership. Because as the school grows, we're going to need a stronger leadership team, because we want our students to actually be our leaders. We want them scheduling assemblies and planning them out. We want them creating fundraisers. We want them doing things to make the school a better place, to make more activities, to get the younger kids involved, be able to bring the school together. And we're going to need older kids to be able to help run that process. To make Medina great, it's going to take all of our kids together working at it. So if you were going to do part-time Running Start or part-time Medina, you get the college credits, you get the high school credits, you also get the Medina Academy experience, which is how your faith plays into it, how you get to be with your Muslim friends that you guys all might go to different colleges, but you come back together to Medina to continue your education together. These lifelong bonds, these friends that you've made, that you get to stick together throughout the end of high school instead of splitting off at 10th grade.
There's still also a part of like community-based events, just like he's listed. So a lot of my Running Start kids from last year, if they were full-time, I barely saw them, which means they were also involved in like school-related things. Now you want to add, other than just your rigor, you want to add like what did you do for your community, right? Where did you volunteer? What sports were you a part of? If not sports, what leadership, right? Those things are very important for colleges.
Yeah, actually, I want to touch on that real quick before we go to the next question. College applications, they require a lot more than a 4.0. A 4.0 will not get you to the college of your choosing. It's a 4.0 or a 3.9. It doesn't have to be a 4.0 to get into UW. But it's the story that you tell with it. What did you do? What have you spent your time in high school doing? What experiences do you have to talk about? That's something that Medina Academy excels in, because our kids here have many, many stories to tell. They have experiences. They are going out. We took speech and debate, went to Olympia to go advocate for necessities for human life, right? We went to camp. We are trying to do these great things. We're trying to be that school that gives our kids a well-rounded life experience. So when they're applying to college, it's not just, I got a 4.0. It's I got a 4.0 and I did this and I've experienced this in life. And this is my personal narrative of how I got there that develops that strong application.
Yeah, I had twins last year who were seniors, 4.0s, both of them, and one with an AA. His sister was at school taking AP classes and very much community involved. One got into UW and one didn't. So you can guess which one did not.
Did they apply for the same thing?
They both applied to UW.
But did they apply for the same major?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, question, yes.
All right, so a couple of questions. So first of all, you listed the requirements, the graduation requirements for BSD.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming as a private school that you're setting up your own graduation requirements. So is that something that you're planning to do? And the next question would be, I think this is just like a note. So you guys had the before five guy come over and talk to parents and whatnot, and Hamza and show. So would you be planning to have like specialized college experienced application people kind of provide their services? And are you going to be reaching out and cultivating relationships with the different schools in our state and out of state to kind of get that relationship built so we can support our students apply to different schools and have that rapport with the different schools?
Question one about the graduation requirements. So one of the things that we want to do at Medina is you want to align to Washington State requirements. So if Washington State wants us to have 4 years of English and 3 years of math, we're going to also require that with us. But we're also going to push our kids a little bit further because we know 3 years of math is not enough. When we are going through when we are the full comprehensive high school, we will meet all the Washington State requirements and we'll have our own additional on top of it because we know our kids deserve to be pushed a little bit harder and a little bit further because they deserve that. These kids are, honestly, being here since November, our kids are smart. And seeing how intelligent they are and how bright they are and how active they are, it would be a shame to watch them only do 24 credits of the bare minimum and that's it. Because these kids are very talented. So as we grow and as we get to comprehensive high school, yes, we will have to create our own requirements, but our requirements will be a minimum of Washington State and it'll be a maximum of so much more because we're looking to do a lot more than just the minimum.
You're still graduating your students if they're part-time so you still have to have your own requirements and improvements.
Correct. So as we work through that program, we will create those requirements. And for your second question, yes, we do need to make those partnerships. We do need to work with local colleges, with people that are connected so that we can develop those relationships and we can really solidify ourselves as a real institution, state of Washington, that is a force to be reckoned with.
Right, some of our students are still within the Bellevue School District. They're just unattending, so they can still come here and they still can participate in sports and activities within their home school. So that connection is kind of still there. And
Question.
It's easier for them when they want to go back into the public school spectrum. They won't need an appointment to meet up with our counselor because they're technically still a student. Versus if you are not registered within the school system, you will have to wait till the fall.
So here's tip number 3, very easily. If your kid is going to 9th grade next year, you should enroll them in the public school system as a non-attending student. This will give you the opportunity to access their sports, their clubs, their resources, without ever having to attend the school. And then when you decide, okay, I finished Medina Academy 10th grade, I really want to do IB at this school, you can just make an appointment with a counselor and they will see you right away because you are technically one of their students. If you are not registered as an attending student currently and you want to go see your counselor for next year for Running Start, they will make you wait until next year to see your counselor because you're not one of their students. So this is a very easy tip. If you are in this system and you are nearing the high school time, just register your student as a non-attending student at your local public school. They're non-attending. You don't have to do anything with the school. It's just on the paperwork so that you can have access to their resources. Because there are some things that they will access, like a soccer team, a basketball team, a football team. So you can just be participating in those if you choose to do so. I would rather you unlock doors and open them than leave any door locked for yourself. So it just keeps everything open.
It's also easier for transitioning into Running Start because even though they start at the end of September, the college classes, again, you want to sign up for them way earlier because first come, first serve.
Saw a question in the back, they'll come to the front. Yes.
So in order to be able to do the high school sports, like join a high school sports varsity team, you would need to sign up as an unattending.
Correct.
And it has to be your local one, not necessarily the Bellevue one.
It would be your local high school why it's a local high school is you are guaranteed a spot at that school. So your kid is guaranteed a spot at the local high school whenever they want it. So if at any point you decide to attend to that high school, they will always have a seat for them. So you can sign up for it as a non-attending student at that local high school to get access to those without ever having to actually go in and utilize those schools.
Okay. I'm just thinking how to get them to the local school if they're here for sports.
That's a whole different question. So that's transportation's is a nightmare in general. In this area, transportation's kind of rough
So
too.
I guess if we can get to the point when Medina has a full high school, could you still do that and still join the sports at another school?
Yes. So that's the beauty of us being, even if we're a full comprehensive high school, you will always have a seat at a public high school. So your local public high school will always, is by law, they have to have a seat for you at all times. So you can always be a non-attending student, even if you're graduating with a degree from Medina High School. So if we give you your high school diploma, you can still be a non-attending student at your local high school the entire time. Question up here, then we'll go to the back.
I have a question about the part-time Running Start.
Yeah.
So you talked about if you're doing a full-time Running Start, you get an AA. Then if you don't get as a freshman, 3 months later, you can apply.
Correct.
And you can get in. But if you've done part-time Running Start, how does that go?
So as a part-time Running Start student, when you graduate high school, you can apply as a freshman to the college of your choosing.
Yes.
If you don't get in and you want to retry as a transfer, when you're applying, you still apply as a transfer
Okay.
because you still have transfer
It's
credits.
transfer, okay.
You don't need the full AA to be considered a transfer.
Okay.
You just need any level of college credit. The AA makes it easier because they're anticipating that you're done with your first 2 years. So you're focusing on your major in the next 2 years. But a partial credit, and correct me if I'm wrong here, partial credit still gets you the baseline moved out of the way. So now you get to just call yourself a transfer, which is a win in itself.
Okay.
Sorry, I have another question this way, and then
I just want to add on to that. Some students will take 2 years of full-time Running Start, but unless you earn 45 credits, you won't get your AA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So my experience, I did 1 year of university someplace else, and I tried to transfer to UW as a transfer student with 1 year of college credits, and they did not accept me. So when I talked to the college counselor there, they said they do prioritize if you have an AA or 2 years, when you can at least have enough credits to go in directly into your major, as opposed to just 1 year was not good enough.
yeah, and that's the thing with UW today. It's getting more and more difficult. You could blame it on economics. Out-of-state students spend about $100,000 a year. In-state students that live on campus spend about 40. So there's $60,000 more to pick someone that doesn't live in Washington State.
International students, they pay, so.
Everyone's paying more than us.
Now.
Can we write to the Congress people about that?
I encourage you to,
Right?
because it's our percentages are going down
Yeah.
because they're making more money on taking out of state. So it's just
Okay.
it's one of those caveats that we have to make our applications as strong as possible to attend an in-state university like University of Washington, because we have to beat the money aspect. Here, then I don't want to forget you. Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you covered this before I came in. My thought was a big part of the session is going to be Medina Academy's high school plans.
That was the first part of the session.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
And I will post online, and we'll be able to connect after.
it.
Yes.
So if Medina won't be offering, what's thinking about keeping Running Start Medina that they offer for Quran and Arabic and Islamic studies, would you have to be a part-time Running Start student in order to partake in those classes?
No. You could be a full-time Running Start student and take those classes. Remember, with full-time Running Start, it's 15 credits, which is 3 classes. So class from 9 to 12. You have many hours in your day to be able to come back to Medina and take some courses here, because the beauty of Running Start is you have a lot less time in class. It's just higher level work.
And you have to pay attention to some of those Running Start courses, because they're not all 5 credits. So some of them are 2 or 3 credits, which puts you down to like 0.6 credit or 0.8 credit, not a full high school credit.
5 credits to equal 1 high school credit.
Correct. Yes.
And then if you're doing that where it's full-time Running Start and accessing the Quran and Arabic Islamic studies, are you paying full tuition?
No, it would be a reduced rate of tuition, because it would be for how much time you're spending there. And actually our numbers guys are in the back over there, and they will work out the magic number for it.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Can you do part-time Running Start and some AB courses, or it has to be choose one?
Yes, you can, again, so do part-time Running Start and take AP classes. Yes, you can do that. Yep.
Yes.
Will Medina offer AP classes?
Oof, that's a good question. So as we grow as a program, we want to be able to offer the best of the best. The reality for AP currently is our program isn't large enough at the high school level to be able to offer an authentic AP system. So as soon as we grow our numbers, we will be able to offer more and more. And that is our intention, to offer these high-level courses, because when we get to the comprehensive high school, we don't want it to just be a comprehensive high school. We want it to be the comprehensive high school that can do all of those things, so that when you're graduating from Medina, your application will be stronger than anyone else's, because you would have taken AP courses, you would have the experience and the stories to tell, you will be a well-rounded individual that is applying for the college, which is, we wouldn't offer it if we didn't think it would be successful moving forward. Yes.
Would you recommend part-time Running Start and AP classes for a high school student, or a full-time Running Start?
That's what I did.
Full-time?
I did part-time and
Part-time
AP classes.
And AP
Yeah.
classes. Would it affect your GPA? Like if
Because
you-
I wanted the high school experience. So that's the difference. I wanted to stay in high school. I still wanted to stay after school for certain activities, community service projects. So that allowed me to be in that high school headspace while also taking evening classes.
Okay.
Because again, that's also commitment. Like I was balancing both.
And recommending for your specific situation, it's a big ask, right? Because every kid is different, and what they want and what their plans are for the future, what they want to do, what kind of student they are, is going to determine that answer.
Yes,
So if you
please
really were
talk
curious,
to your children. It's
Yeah.
their
Talk to them.
schedule.
come and talk with us on a specific, we can make appointments, talk individually, and help with some advice, some base level advice on what to do, because we can help you clarify some of those questions that you have. Because if your kid says, I want to do this, we can help make recommendations on what the best way to do that is. I want to come back here and then we'll go. Yes.
So your high school, what I'm trying to understand, is offering Running Start, not AP or IB, right?
As of 2027, 2028, it will be through Running Start, and being a part-time Medina Academy student, at which we can offer you the full diploma at the end.
So what curriculum you guys are gonna follow for the courses? Is it gonna be, you know, aligned with the Washington State, you know, regulations, or like what, like?
So all of the courses we offer here all align with Washington State, so they're all credit-bearing courses. When it comes to our Islamic studies courses, we can teach the content that we want, but we're teaching it in a style that is acceptable by Washington State credit. So we have assessments, we'll have things to study, we have standards that we're hitting, we have topics that we're going over. So there's a specific way you have to just offer the course in order to be credit bearing. So when we're doing our part-time, our Islamic studies courses will be like our primary option here as we take the Running Start courses at the school. As we go into a full comprehensive high school, right, that's where we will be offering all the courses, English, math, science, history, plus Islamic and Islamic studies courses to all of our students. And everything that we do here is applicable to a high school credit. So you can take this, any course you take, and transfer it to any school in Washington State, and it's no problem.
So I have an older kid. If my son is doing Running Start, he's not part of Medina. Can I register him here only to take Islamic studies?
Correct.
Okay, we can do that.
Yes, that is what we're in the works of
When
making.
will it be available?
That we're anticipating 2027, 2028.
Okay. Thank you.
I know we're teaching honors classes this year. I think most of our subjects are honors for high school. Are we planning to do that for next year's as honors, or are we just teaching regular classes for next year?
When we're teaching, so we want to teach everything at the highest level here. So all of our classes will be high level courses. So we're gonna offer honors as often as possible and in all of our subjects, because the beauty of it now is with our certificated staff, we can do that very easily. And in difference between an honor levels course and just a standard course, right? It's the level of rigor that comes into it. So it's just, we're gonna pick curriculums that are higher level, that push our kids further, that give them more to work with and more rigor and a higher level of learning, so that they can make sure they access all of the content. Because we want our kids to be the best.
Yeah,
and we will offer everything we can to get them.
In the public school system, most juniors and seniors have a lot of courses they can take for AP. 9th and 10th, mainly honors. So
And I think that's why for this past 2 years, we mostly have honors and maybe 1 or 2 AP.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's
AP
very
parts-
minimal
AP
options
yeah.
for 9th and 10th. Yeah.
So we do have AP, like 1 or 2 classes.
That's
this
what
year.
AP geography.
We have AP
Yeah.
Human Geography.
Human geography
Yeah.
and AP computer science.
Mhm,
we
that's
offer
what I'm
this year.
Correct.
Currently we do, yeah.
Any other questions? Yes.
Can we schedule an appointment with the counselor to check about Running Start and everything, even if my son is not attending?
Yeah, I'm happy to meet with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question for Sister Ala regarding the language course. Like we mentioned, it's better or preferred to take 3 years of language. If our students have taken Arabic here and they transfer to Baldwin Community College, for example, I know they have an option of Arabic, which is a very popular class and hard to get in. Can they take any other language class instead of?
I took 3 years of French.
You can mix languages. If that's the question. Yes.
Yeah.
So they don't need 3 years of concurrent language. You could do 1 year of Arabic, 1 year of Spanish, 1 year of French.
Which would be
And
all.
all-
No, it
Correct.
has to be 2 years of the same language.
Just kidding.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep. And the other option is if you speak another language, in the high school you have the option of taking the world language exam and earning up to 4 high school credits of a world language. So instead of taking 4 years of Spanish, you spoke Spanish fluently, you could take the exam and get 4 credits.
But you need to take the written exam.
Written
as well,
and-
because I know a lot of people can
Yes.
speak but might not be able to write the language.
And we offer that exam here. So it's called the Apple test. I don't know what it stands for, AAPL something. But anyways, it's a language test. And if you pass this test, there's
For
levels of passing
Arabic.
for Arabic.
Yeah.
So we'll take it in the Arabic version of the Apple test. If you pass the test with a high enough score, we can actually award you those high school credits before you even leave. So you can be leaving 8th grade or going to 9th grade here at Medina with already 4 credits of language if you're already like that. And I believe there was 4 or 5 kids this year that got the full 4 credits from the Apple test. And by the way, getting the full 4 credits is as if you took 4 years of this language. And that is a really incredible thing to do. One of them was actually a 7th grader in our system that she was already able to earn her full 4 credits of high school language in 7th grade because she is just very talented in the Arabic language. So that all exists. And as you score on that test, so before you leave Medina Academy, whether that's to college, whether that's to high school, whether that's to wherever you're headed, we will get you the credits that you deserve. Because if you've taken that test and you've done really well, we will get you those credits. Yes?
What is the process for this test?
We all took it sometime earlier this year. I think we just had the whole school take it just because we could see who would do it. If you haven't seen the results, we'll make sure that you see them soon. Any other questions? Yes.
What does simple high school look like?
Are you talking about like public school?
That's a big question. What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I was born in the 80s. I don't know what this is like.
High school is really basic. You're going to take math, English, science, social studies, and 2 extra classes.
So usually your freshman year, you're going to take PE and health. So you are required a 0.5 credit of health, and 1.5 credits of PE. Those are separate. That's part of your 24 credits. Some students will do, for example, like track and field, and they've only taken 1 credit of PE, and it's their like crunch time senior year. So I've had kids who will show me their hours of track and field, and that will make up for a 0.5 credit that they're missing. So high school, depending on where you go, can be a lot of fun, but really depends on the district and the school itself, and your child. But I think I had a good experience.
But that is what high school is, right? It's the 4 core subjects plus 2. And then 2 are your graduation requirements. Whatever those may be, you have to take them all the way through. Sometimes they're electives, sometimes it's PE, sometimes it's health. So at Medina, we're doing the same thing. We're giving you your 4 core, and we're giving you classes like Quran, Arabic, Islamic studies, and PE, and computer science. So we want our students to feel well-rounded in all of their abilities. And computer science is just what we're offering currently, as we intend on offering more electives as we grow our programs. So because high school is just the 4 core plus some, we're 4 core plus 3 core plus some. So we try to offer a wide range of courses. Yes?
Will Medina offer ACT, SAT prep?
We will be offering ACT and SAT prep. Yes.
10th graders or 11th?
We're intending on offering it to 10th graders as they're getting ready, because you'll take it early into your 11th grade year. Yes.
Does the sport playing outside the school count as a credit or not? PE.
Really depends. Again, if it's, for example, I had a student who was non-attending, so they took all online classes, and they were full-time committed to baseball, so that counted as their PE credit.
Does that cover health credit as well or no?
No.
Health will be health.
Health is health, just like Washington State history is Washington State history. People who come internationally and people who come out of state still need that credit.
One thing to think about when it comes to like PE credits specifically, they're not fun to get at the high school. It's not a great time. The PE offerings, the PE courses, if you're doing running start, the PE classes are not fun. That's why at Medina, we get you all of your PE requirements before you leave. So you will have all of your PE and health requirements before you graduate from Medina Academy, because we're going to offer you all those credits so that you can choose to take the better classes of Running Start. So you're not stuck taking a PE class online that is gonna be really dull and boring, because trust me, it is. You can get all of your credits that are interesting here, like Quran, Arabic, and Islamic studies. You can also get your ones that you have to get, which is PE, and then be able to take the course you actually want to take as you go into Running Start.
So
Yes.
there'll also be an Islamic health class? I suppose?
Correct. So we just hired brother Mubashir Juban, and he's awesome, and he's actually going to lead our health class for an Islamic Studies health course before the end of the school year, which I know our boys and our really need. And we also have Sister Noor to do for the girls, so now we get to double up on both. So we get to split on both, and they get age-appropriate Islamic health.
It's for this year?
And that'll be for this year. Yes, we are. It's in the works right now. Mubashir joined. We've been restructuring a lot, so we're at a place now where we can offer that.
Is this gonna be like how Belgian school district does it with one class in 5th, one in 7th, and one in 10th, or like continuous throughout? Like this whole month?
I don't know how to answer that question because
Like, how is it gonna be a semester of health in 10th, a semester in 7th, and a semester in 5th? That's how Belgium does it. Or just gonna continuously have health throughout?
that's a great question, and honestly, I'm not sure yet. But because we
Yeah,
just
only
got him
0.5 is required for your graduation.
for high school graduation. But I think the content is still important, and having being age appropriate health content is always really important. So it's covering all those topics. It's something that is going to be viable and I think really a need. So we will be doing portions of it throughout the whole time you're at Medina, each year that you come around, as it's more and more appropriate for your age. But when we get to high schools, when we really have to focus in on it, because then it becomes the full health course.
So the 10th graders this year will be earning this credit
Correct.
fully.
It is 7:02. I don't know if there's still coffee and tea and cookies right around the corner. I want to say thank you very much for your coming out today. I hope there was some benefit in what you're able to get. We will post this information online on our website so that you can have access to it. You are also always free to email and reach out to us. We are hoping to be able to provide you with whatever you need for success for your kids. The reality is it takes a village, so we have to work together to figure out what's going to make your kids successful in the future. So again, thank you very much for coming out. Assalamu alaikum.
So
we have to buy those. Oh yeah. We still don't have them.
Last year,
I was not.
but at that time,
They were our council.
yes,
Correct.
and there was, there's this lady, they had credit cards.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, I things were to the point where I need to discuss this. Yeah. If I can note down your email address, I have yours because
Yep.
you do send.
Yeah, I've sent a whole bunch. Yeah.
But I can, if I can note your email.
And we still partner with Zane Counseling for therapy services, right? Because school counseling services and therapy services are different levels of need. So then we want to give your kids the best of whatever they need. So like I said.
And the best assist for
She's awesome. Yes. But it's not actually
So
what's your strategy? You know, I have heard that so I would like to know what's the strategy.
That's valid. And honestly, that's something that we're working on right now. our intention is we do not have a middle grade. So while some of the 8th grade girls might not be coming back, I know of other kids that are transferring here, but I believe we do have other kids transferring from, I have a family member from Canada for Medina Academy. So there's a few different, we have a few different avenues. Inshallah, we don't have to cross that bridge. That if she's opening her own class, so we will work hard to make sure that's not.
How much did percentage or 80% that
I'm fairly confident that if I remember right, I know of at least one that is already registered or they're intending on registering. So they fill out the paperwork and they're on the way. Yeah, so she shouldn't be the only one. And she's a great kid. I do not want to see her going. That's an awesome.
So there are 7 people still watching live. So can you tell them how they can, get in touch with you, maybe do a tour?
Yes. If you want to be in touch with me, you can send me an email. My email is just ahmed.tahi@medinaacademy.org. I'm sure you see my email in your inbox or somewhere. Go ahead and just send me an email and I can connect with you. You can set up a time to come tour the building, to come see our resources and see what we have, or I can answer some of your questions that the guy wasn't able to cover today. Thank you for tuning in. Assalamu alaikum.